Welcome to Following On after day 3 of the final test. We're building up to the crescendo that this wonderful series deserves on day 4 probably, although there is a bit of rain around, so it might finish on the 5th morning. England need 324 more runs to win, Jon Norman. We just another fantastic day, frustrating for England. They really missed Chris Woakes, obviously. Akash Deep's career best 66 as night watchman. Yashasvi Jaiswal dropped on 20 by Harry Brook, went on to his 6th test 100, 118. But it is all set up. There are so many talking points, and we'll try and get to a few of them. But if you'd been given this scenario before day 1 at Headingley, you'd have taken it, wouldn't you?
I would have taken this after lunch on day 2, and that was only 5 sessions ago. What a turnaround! What a turnaround! You know, after the 3rd Test match, I think we got a little bit kind of maybe a bit. I don't know if snobby is the right word, but a lot of people who may not be invested in cricket as much as we are, and there was this kind of like narrative that the series was up there with 2005, and we were all a bit like, I don't know about that. I mean, you know, there's been some very exciting conclusions to these test matches, but in getting to that point, there's been quite a lot of quite tedious, turgid cricket, mainly because of the pitches. I'm not suggesting it's up there, right? But the last 2 test matches have elevated this series. You know, after that 3rd test match with India so far behind the game at Old Trafford, I actually made the point to Sid Monga that this was actually a good argument for 3 test series. Because if this series had finished at Lord's, I mean, imagine that, by the way, we would have all gone away and said, wow, what a series, an incredible climax, 1-1 going to the final test match, and there's so much resting on it, and India could have won the series, but they lost it, and we'll move on with our lives, and we will pat each other on the back and say, that is brilliant Test cricket, well done everyone. And then, you know, India was so far behind the game in that 4th Test match, and it looked like they were gonna be beaten, and it's 3-1 going to the Oval, and I love the Oval, and it's fine, it's the traditional last test of the summer, I'm okay with that, although it isn't next year. But I've been here when there's been nothing riding on a test match, and I've been here when there is a lot riding on the test match, and there's quite a big difference between the buzz and the build-up and everything. So the fact that we came here after India batted so well for 2 days, and the series is still on the line, because 2-2 for me is a win for India. And then here we are again, day 24 of 25 tomorrow. And we think India are going to win, but we don't know. And we can't wait to come back tomorrow. And if tomorrow is anything like days 1, 2 and 3, something crazy is going to happen. It's been a brilliant, brilliant series. And I'll be sad when it ends.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit of digesting for all of us to come to terms with normal life again. Let's talk about normal life and abnormal life and the England fast bowlers. Gus Atkinson's bowled 27 overs. Josh Tongue, let's be honest, was, you know, bowling a lot of pies in the first innings and ended up with 3 for 57. And it just seemed like he was short of work. He also bowled magic balls, but he's bowled 30 overs. We only had 9 overs of spin out of 88, and he finished up with 5 for 125. Just the fact that he's bowled 30 overs. There were 22 as well from Jamie Overton, whose speed was still pushing 90, you know, after 90 miles an hour. A brilliant effort, and we were lauding the way India's fast bowlers, 3-man seam attack, that's what they selected, fought their way back. And I think we should do the same with the England attack, you know, missing Chris Woakes. And Ollie Pope's just like constantly going, guys, it's the last one. I'm sorry, we're not bowling part-time spin. You just got to keep going. And they did brilliantly.
Yeah, I can't add too much to that. All I'll say is at the 40 over stage, I was thinking, going to get a bit of spin soon. At the 50 over stage, I'm thinking,
we're due some
spin. I mean, it's going to happen. At the 60 over stage, 61 overs in, and you're thinking, the second new ball's due in 18 minutes, so 18 overs, guys, 19 overs. And we got an over of spin, well, maybe 2 overs of spin. And then there was a wicket, and Ollie Pope just brought Gus Atkinson straight back into the attack. I thought, England's bowlers were brilliant today. And you mentioned Jamie Overton, or Craig Overton as I keep saying. He had 3 catches dropped. He took 2 for 98, and he had 3 top order batters. I think they're all top order. He had 3 catches dropped. So on another day he walks away with 50, with a 5. Have you ever seen a 90 mile an hour bowler though look more like an 83 mile an hour bowler? Do you know what I mean?
Jamie looked like Craig.
Yeah. And then you look at the speaker and you're like, whoa, that's 89 miles an hour. There's something weird there. You know, some bowlers look much quicker than they actually are. And he's the reverse, basically. But I thought he bowled really, really well. Atkinson, again, fantastic. 8 wickets on his return to the side. And Josh Tongue bowled against right-handers in particular. I thought he was phenomenal today. Maybe day one, didn't bowl with the new ball. Bit of nerves. He's a big man, and he wasn't bowling from the best end, and it was those footmarks. I think if you throw all of that into the mix, and he just didn't bowl particularly well. Josh Tongue is going to Australia now. I mean, I think he was always going to. Top wicket taker in the series for England as well. So, I thought at the end of the series, what I hope happens is whoever wins tomorrow, I think both teams should just sit on that outfield together and just recount some of the tales from what has been a wonderful tour.
Let's talk about Jaiswal, 6th Test 100. I was just almost mesmerised by his ability to change gears, and we saw it with the back-to-back hundreds in India. The fact that he can just go, all right, okay, everyone's bowling quite well now. I'll just wait for them to tire or wait for a bowling change, and then sometimes he counter-attacks. I know that he was caught at deep backward point. England set the man there for the uppercut, and he's duly hit it to them. But he had 118 then. So, and Akash deep. You know, people will look at that going like, that could be the innings that makes the difference. I mean, you know, India have scored 1300s in the series, but it's Akash Deep's night watchman, previous highest score of 31, only one first-class 50. And I kept looking back and thinking, what could England have done different?
Caught him.
Well,
on 21.
Apart from that,
there was a very close LBW shot the ball before as well.
Yeah.
If it was
true.
if it was given out on field,
but that's
gone.
Rub of the green.
You're right. You're right. I thought he was also doing that age-old lower order batter. I'm not going to call him a tail ender now. You could see he actually got to a point where he was like, I am actually a batter. He was.
Yeah, he came out
bonk. Bonk.
When he started, he was the air of a man who was there for a good time, not a long time, and you could see how his approach and attitude changed, and he was like reappraising the situation.
Absolutely, he reached 21 when he had those 2 moments, right, and that was the score that he was going to get. He was either going to be out the first over of the day. You know how it works with cricket. He's either out in the first or second over, or he makes 21. That's how it works. They're the 2 options. There is no other option. Whoa, he's dropped. 66, second highest top scorer. Absolutely, that was a crucial session. 1 wicket fell all morning. And by the point that England came out, of course, hit straight back with a wicket of Shubman Gill, first ball of the afternoon session. But, what was the lead at that point? 180 odd, I think, at lunch. I mean, the other thing is we didn't know what this pitch was doing, right? So we all came today thinking, well, if there are chances going everywhere and the ball's flying everywhere and wickets are tumbling, then 250 is a good target, right? But if Akash Deep's hitting 66 and they're batting all day, no target is too big for England. And that's kind of where we still are. Let me ask you a question, though. England have chased down scores in excess of 370 successfully against India, once in this series and once at Edgbaston, right? 374, 378, I think, or maybe 375. Can't quite remember.
378, 371.
Right, 37. That's right. They must hit a boundary. They've essentially been set exactly the same score, pretty much, right? 374. Of the 3, would this achievement be greater than the other 2 if they were to manage it?
Yes.
And why would that be?
I think the pitch is going to be a bit up and down. I think that it wins a series that really, really matters at the beginning of the World Test Championship cycle. I think secretly whisper it, but England are taking the World Test Championship more seriously now that they understand how it works. And 3-1 series win against India, it's been so hard fought and so closely contested. I think it would definitely be. Look, I was there at Edgbaston. 378 was phenomenal, but it was easy, and it was quite easy at Headingley, and I don't think there'll be anything easy about this. Do you know what I like as well?
One bowler short, though.
Yeah. Seamer short. What I find really fascinating, and we go back to Headingley, is the way that Zach Crawley played and the way Ben Duckett played as well. I love Bazball. I'm a huge fan. I was mesmerised by the start they made in the first innings. 92 without loss in 12.5 overs, with Ben Duckett playing exotic reverse scoops, and it was extraordinary. And I know that this will maybe irritate all fans apart from England fans when I say that I think that it has changed and revitalised Test cricket, the approach. I still think that it was criminal that they ended up with a first innings lead of 23. And now we see how they played. And see, at Headingley, Zach Crawley's 66 came from 125 balls. People forget that because they remember Ben Duckett's 149. And it was a brilliant match-winning innings. But they did change their approach. We saw that again today. And some people will say, well, Zach Crawley made 14 off 36. Very good in-swinging Yorker from Mohammad Siraj. But he can adapt. He can change. And no doubt people will say to him, well, you should have played a few more shots, got some more runs. But I think that, Duckett is the key man. And I think England can win. And I said to you before Headingley, no chance. They're going to chase 371. And you said, yeah, of course they can.
Yeah.
And they were cruising at lunch.
At no point did I think they wouldn't chase it down there. I don't think they're going to chase this down there. For the reasons that you say. I think it's...
Uneven bounce. Low bounce is the batsman's nightmare.
Yeah. There's been uneven bounce, seam and swing. There actually wasn't that much swing, or seam actually, when India were bowling, but they still had that alarming bounce. Both batters got hit. Duckett, by the way, keep an eye on that. Duckett really got hit.
Yeah,
it hurt him a lot.
Yeah, and did you see all the plasters and bandages on his fingers when he took his gloves off?
Yeah.
So, like all opening batsmen, he gets hit a lot. John, I just wonder whether the old school approach... See, for 25 years, a massive run chase like this, with only against three seamers on a pitch that's not turning a great deal, the game plan would be so screamingly obvious. Let's put overs into the seamers' legs. Let's get them tired. Let's get them bowling, and they'll start to make mistakes. So we need to get 15, 18 overs into the seamers, and then they'll have to bowl the spinners, and the spinners aren't going to bowl us out. And it won't be a fun approach, but there are 2 days left. It is an approach. I know it's old school, and I'm not advocating it, but to a degree, it might not be a bad idea just to get the seamers into their third spells.
I'm going the other way. I think Crawley got stuck tonight.
Okay.
I thought with 25 minutes to go, I thought he stuck. It was a very good ball from Siraj, and that happens. I wonder whether McCullum, in that way that McCullum may do, as Crawley walks past, might have muttered something like, didn't fancy playing a few shots tonight. They didn't play like they played at Headingley, and they didn't play like they played.
Crawley was too stuck. I agree. He was too much in his shot.
And I wonder, actually, whether the message will be reinforced tonight. Go out there tomorrow and play your shots. Back yourself. Because what England, I think, need to do is they need to hit these bowlers out of the attack. They need to put the pressure back on Shubman Gill, and they need to have him turning to his spinners early. There's 3 seamers. You've got a youngster in Krishna, and I think England need to... I don't think England are going to win by pushing them into the third and fourth spells in a traditional sense.
I know what you mean, but it is so much easier to play your shot successfully against bowlers who are tired and a ball that is soft. Yeah?
Yeah, but, what are the 2 spells that have changed this game? It's the 10-over spell from Akash Deep and the 8-over spell from Mohammad Siraj. And and they were allowed to bowl, I suppose. If England are going at them, and I'm not saying that England should have, been even more crazy in that afternoon session. Well, maybe I am actually. But essentially, you do not chase down scores of 374 at the Oval unless you do something a bit crazy and a bit different.
Yeah, I get it.
And essentially, you back yourself. And I think that's what England are going to have to do. But, they could collapse in a heap.
They could. Anything could happen. All 4 results possible. The series is on the line. I managed to stay on my feet through tonight's following on, unlike last night. Thanks for rescuing me. You saved my life. We'll be back with ball-by-ball commentary with England chasing what we used to be regarded as an impossible dream. But as John just said, they've chased over 370 twice before against the same opponents within the last 3 years. Commentary begins just before 11 a.m. on day 4. Be sure to join us.